Alright, today we're going to be ranking the Fallout DLCs. We're going to start off with one of the most divisive DLCs, Dead Money. I'm admittedly kind of bitter towards Dead Money. I have only played it all the way through maybe once. I don't think I want to again, but it does have an interesting story with Father Elijah. I just hated the bomb collar being a constant annoyance, as well as the toxic clouds. The Dog and God Companion was interesting, but not enough for me to change my ranking. I'm going to be putting this one in the D tier. Moving on to Nuka-World. When I first saw the trailer for Nuka-World, I got pretty hyped. I thought we were going to get a brand new multi-branching storyline for it to only find out it was kind of a raider-only DLC, essentially. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you could basically join up, be a raider, or go ahead and just kill them all. There's really no other options to be a good guy in that entire DLC. So the story felt kind of weak to me, like they needed longer to cook it up and put some good guy options there. And I mean, you could have helped everybody rebel and done it in a much longer, more branching out storyline. The whole thing felt weak to me. I didn't like the huge fetch quest collecting all the star cores. Other than that, the locations were pretty great, awesome visuals, but I felt the gameplay was lacking. I feel like if they would have spent more time on this DLC, it could have been something pretty epic, just like Fallout Disney World, basically. Overall, I'm going to be putting this in the B tier. Broken Steel. This DLC was super important to Fallout 3 because it added the ability to continue the game after the main story ended. The huge battle at Adams Air Force Base was pretty cool. Ripped to my boy Liberty Prime, though. It added the Tesla cannon and those super tough mutant overlords, which were always a bullet sponge. I enjoyed the DLC and how it changed the ending. I'm going to be giving this one an A tier. It's just an awesome DLC. Next up, Automatron. I remember feeling a little let down after the main quest line for this one. It felt kind of like a breeze going through it. But it did add a lot of customization. You could basically mix and match Sentry Bots, Protectrons, Assaultrons, all the rest. The Ada Companion was okay, but nothing special. I like the new Tesla rifle, but overall the DLC just didn't add a ton of new locations to the game. I'm going to be putting this one in the D tier. Next up, the Contraptions, Vault Tech, and Wasteland Workshop DLCs. I did not care for much of these. I didn't care much for the settlement building. Just not my preference. Some people loved them, some people hated it. But it was kind of cool to get to make your own vault. That's the only thing I will admit was pretty cool. I understand a lot of settlement builders love these, but part of me thinks it should have just been in Fallout 4 at launch anyways. But I'm going to be putting these in the F tier. They just personally don't interest me, and that's my opinion. Far Harbor, hands down the best Fallout 4 DLC out there. It felt like a real return to form for Bethesda when the community at that point was becoming skeptical for their ability to deliver a good story after the launch of Fallout 4. It gave us a huge new island to explore. When you first pull up on the boat, the fog and everything, the island, all the cinematics, everything, it just looks so good. Even if it does drop your FPS by about 30 frames just because the fog's on the screen. They delivered a great story between Acadia, Far Harbor, and the Children of Adam as well. They also put in the harpoon gun and Adam's Judgment, the awesome-looking super sledge that was a real legendary weapon, not the randomly generated ones like how we got in the base game. I love the way the marine armor looked. We got brand new original enemies in the fog crawler, which scared the crap out of me the first time I saw that thing charging at me out of the fog. The Gulper and the Angler, which are both absolute tanks. Only thing I hated, just like everybody else did, and I actually installed a mod to remove this, was the Dima's Memories. Everyone hated this. Nobody liked this. And if you like this, tell me in the comments, because you're lying. And I will call you a liar in the comments. Overall, this DLC was just a true masterpiece. Gave me faith in Bethesda again. But they would, of course, later ruin that in Starfield, but that's a story for another day. I'm going to be putting this one in the S tier. The DLC is great, other than those annoying Dima's Memories. Point Lookout, more like Far Harbor Jr. Just kidding, this one I enjoyed. My first time seeing those crazy hillbillies chasing me with their double-barrel shotgun was something else. This DLC had a pretty good size area to explore, where the quest with Desmond and the Professor was pretty interesting, but let's not forget we get to trip on acid in one of the coolest scenes from Fallout 3, as you see. I really enjoyed this one. I haven't played this one in probably a few years now. I really need to go back and play this one. This one's going to be going in the A tier. The Courier Stash and Gunrunner's Arsenal. I don't like being handed things at the beginning of the game. It kind of makes you feel too overpowered when I want to start out fresh and be weak at first, so I go through the proper progression of the game. So I didn't care much for the Courier Stash, so that's going to be an F tier. Gunrunner's Arsenal added a ton of new mods and weapons that I enjoyed using, so I'm going to be putting this one in the D tier. For the Fallout 76 DLC, none of these really added anything great, except for Wastelanders fundamentally fixed the game, that it made it halfway playable by, adding NPCs to the game. Because believe it or not, most people don't like being given quests through notes and robots. I did like the Gleaming Depths update, which added the raid. Other than that, all these are going to be going in the F tier, except Wastelanders. I'm going to put that in the D tier. Still one of my least favorite Fallout games. Honest Hearts, this DLC by far is one of the most beautiful expansions we've ever gotten. Zion looked great, and it actually added rain into the game. And who can forget the legendary Joshua Graham, the Burn Man, reloading his pistol about 1,000,000 times a day. We also see the best story through a terminal that we've ever seen. Fallout 76 wishes they could do this. with the survivalist Randall Clark. If you haven't heard that full story, you need to go watch a YouTube video on it right now, or just go play the DLC and go design yourself and find it out. It's an amazing, amazing story, and I've never seen such great writing as that. Honest Hearts, it's a three-way power struggle in the DLC between the tribes, real choices and real consequences. I'm going to be putting this DLC in the S tier right beside Far Harbor. The Pit, those freaking trogs ruined everything. Basically, raiders have taken over Pittsburgh and you got to help the people that are slaves with a twist ending. It added the auto axe and the sick infiltrator silenced assault rifle and got some sick looking raider power armor at the end. We got to collect 100 iron ingots that were a pain to find, just like the star cores in Nuka-World were. Ironically enough, I'm going to be ranking this one in the B tier, just like Nuka-World. Next up, Mothership Zeta, the final DLC for Fallout 3. It kind of went off the rails a little bit going into space. We get abducted just like in the movies. Hopefully, we didn't get probed, but you know what happens in space stays in space. This DLC added cool alien weapons. You could get some samurai armor and a sword. From some of the people you meet, you can get some other unique stuff like a cowboy outfit as well. While I enjoyed this DLC, I just didn't quite enjoyed as much as I did Broken Steel and Point Lookout. It just seemed a bit out there in my opinion, but I still enjoyed it and enjoyed the lore that it added. I'm going to be giving Mothership Zeta a B tier. Operation Anchorage. This DLC was more of a linear combat simulation. It's cool you get to see Alaska before the bombs dropped, and the rewards from this DLC were pretty amazing. I don't think I ever took off the winterized T-51B power armor after beating this DLC. The Chinese stealth armor was pretty good, but I definitely preferred the power armor. I enjoyed my time playing this one, but definitely preferred the more open exploration DLCs like Point Lookout. Overall, I'm going to be giving Operation Anchorage a C tier. Lonesome Road, the final DLC for my favorite video game of all time, Fallout New Vegas. I enjoyed exploring the Divide and listening to Ulysses. They chose a great voice actor for him. The riot gear you could get is amazing. One of the best non-power armor options in the game. The red glare was amazing. I actually named my first PC that was black and red the Red Glare after the DLC. Those tunnelers were tough as well, just as tough as the Deathclaws. We get to upgrade Eddie and find out some more backstory on him. At the end, we get to either nuke the NCR, Legion, or neither. I think this was a strong ending to the Courier's story, and I rank this among one of the best DLCs I've played. For me, this is definitely an S tier. A strong ending to the best game I've ever played. Next up, we got Old World Blues. I'm a huge fan of everything sci-fi, and this DLC just did it for me. This or Lonesome Road is my favorite DLC ever. I just can't decide between the two. I'm probably leaning more towards Old World Blues. I feel like I remember more of Old World Blues. Exploring the crater was some of the most fun I've ever had in a Fallout game, staying up late at night playing it. I'll never forget the evil toaster and little Muggy. Just everything about this DLC was peak. The story was insane with big plot twists, finding out Dr. Mobius wasn't really that evil. I can't believe I had to argue with my own brain to get it to come back into my head. It has the toughest enemy in the entire game for absolutely no reason, which makes me love it even more. The legendary Boatfly, who I tried to kill multiple times and finally had to pull the holy frag grenades out to kill it. It was just a strong DLC, and I absolutely love this one. This one's going to be going in the S tier as well. That is my rankings for the Fallout DLC. Did you guys agree with me? Let me know down in the comments below and follow me for more Fallout content. Thanks, guys.